Hello, and we'd like to call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided and published in the Asbury Park Press and the Ocean Star on January 7, 2022. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper, posted on public bulletin boards and the Township website.
Thank you. Roll call.
Councilman Albanese. Councilwoman Zapsik. Councilwoman DeYoung.
Here.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Here.
Councilman Halloran.
Here.
Vice President Crate.
Here.
President Menachino.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to take a moment to salute the flag, please, and have a moment of silence. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So this evening, we have a couple budget presentations. First up would be Mrs. Bergen, please.
Thank you, Council President. I made up for my lack of wearing green by making the presentation green. So I hope that makes up for it. So tonight, on behalf of all the department and division heads represented in this report, thanks to our mayor and members of the Township Council for your ongoing support. I will go through the division budgets that are included under administration. There are 11 budgets and hundreds of line items. Most of the budget line items have remained the same. In my presentation, I will provide a brief overview of what each department does and address operating and salary and wage budgets. First, I'll start with administration. Administration staff includes 4 full-time employees. Administration is the front line for all in-person and telephone inquiries that come through the township. They also track and ensure follow-up on all email inquiries that come through the website. In 2021, we handled 41,970 cases through our Citizens Relationship Management System. Staff also handled 12,708 calls in 2021. Public relations, marketing, and special events are handled by administration, including monitoring and updating of the Township's website and social media sites, including Facebook and Twitter, preparation and dissemination of press releases, and oversight of Brick Township's PEG channel BTV. We have won several awards for our efforts to keep the public informed. Our work includes creating and posting bulletin board slides and preparing and posting all content, creating advertisements and promotional materials for various departments, preparing and disseminating email updates from the Township, photography at Township events, and the continued implementation of a seamless document program for online forums. Staff also manages the Buy and Brick program, which continues to grow and benefit our taxpayers. There was 664,729 Buy and Brick sales, which is dollars processed in 2021. Resident tax savings in 2021 was $44,221. Administration also manages constituent relations and publications such as advertisements, promotional materials, recycling brochures, event flyers, and any other publications as needed. Administration manages the design and creation of our recreation brochure and senior booklet, reducing the overall cost by bringing this work in-house. Administration staff also provides support to municipal boards and commissions. Salary and wage budget decreased by 15% due to an unfilled vacancy, and the operating budget decreased by $50 in the office materials and supplies line item. The next budgets I'll discuss are Mayor's Office and Council. The Office of the Mayor includes our Mayor and 2 full-time staff members. Mayor Ducey maintains office hours each week. His active schedule includes regular meetings with groups and organizations within town, and he hosts many initiatives to engage the public, such as the tremendously popular Facebook Live and regular attendance at council meetings. The Mayor's Teen Advisory Committee continues to engage young adults in activities and through Lounge 270, a place for teens to connect with peers and mentors in a safe, positive environment. He continues to meet regularly with the Senior Advisory Committee and readily accepts all invitations to speak at older adult communities, social service organizations, schools, businesses, and wherever else he is invited. He promotes the town's interests and advocates for our needs at the state and federal level. The Mayor participates in the Ocean County Mayors Association, the New Jersey League of Municipalities, and the New Jersey Conference of Mayors. In terms of the council's budget, the salary and wage budget remains flat. The operating budget for the council totals $1,620, which is a decrease of $170. The council budget includes items like conferences, flowers for special events, plaques, nameplates, letterhead, business cards, presentation folders, publications, and miscellaneous office supplies. Council members are very active in strategic planning and have working subcommittees including Recreation, Land Use, Public Works, Public Safety, and Business and Finance. They regularly attend community events and represent the Township at a variety of events and activities. The next report is for our Purchasing Department. The Office of Purchasing and Contracting is a division within the Department of Administration and Finance. It is the responsibility of the Division of Purchasing and Contracting to conduct all purchasing, the acquisition of all goods and services, in accordance with the applicable laws of the State of New Jersey, more specifically NJSA 48:11-1, the Local Public Contracts Law. The Purchasing Department operating for budget for 2022 remained flat. In 2021, this office processed approximately 4,500 purchase orders, 25 bids for goods and services, 23 professional services requests for proposals, 12 capital bid projects, 26 formal requests for quotes. The above tasks were accomplished by an office staff of 4. This office also oversees the central receiving mailroom, which includes 1 additional staff member. He has processed over 60,000 pieces of mail plus delivery to post office for bulk mail projects, approximately 14,000 pieces of mail, tax delinquent notices, neighborhood watch mailings, etc. He delivers mail, packages, and supplies throughout the municipal complex and all off-site location, manages the central receiving and stockroom. Postage encompasses 93% of the operating budget. This line item includes postage for all departments and divisions' outgoing mail, mailing of property tax bills, homestead benefit and adjusted bills for second quarter, estimated third quarter, final tax bills, and added omitted assessment tax bills. Delinquent tax notices mailed after each quarter, tax sale notices, post-tax year income statements mailed every January, Chapter 75 tax assessment notification mailed every January, Township newsletter mailed to every resident in town, certified and registered mail, regular priority, and overnight postage. Additional line items in the operating budget is $4,000 for conferences and education. All staff members are certified in the area of public procurement through Rutgers Educational Program. Certifications are required to be maintained through continuing education by attending conferences and seminars. The $1,250 budgeted for dues includes membership dues for Stafford Township Cooperative Pricing System, Government Purchasing Association of New Jersey, and the South Jersey chapter of the National Institute of Government Purchasing for every staff member. Memberships in these associations provide discounted prices for seminars and conferences, as well as a resource for bid specifications and pertinent purchasing information. Another line item is storeroom supplies at $1,500. This office purchases and stocks frequently requested office materials and supplies requested by all departments. Items are purchased off the state, county, and Stafford Township Cooperative Pricing System contracts. On a quarterly basis, the purchases are totaled and charged back to each department's budget. Human Resources is next. The HR department manages all township employees, currently 433 full-time and 153 part-time seasonal. During the summer months, they coordinate all hiring and employment management for the approximately 150 additional employees. They create and institute HR policies and maintain compliance with state and federal laws. HR handles employee training, including safety, the Employee Assistance Program, and other workplace trainings. All health benefits are handled by Human Resources. They coordinate with our brokers for contract proposals, renewals, rate changes, fee submissions, and compliance with federal guidelines. They handle required reporting as well as resolving claim issues. HR staff processes all liability claims with our insurance company. They ensure compliance with safety regulations and vendor insurance. Highlights and accomplishments from 2021 include COVID policy development, implementation and development, and enforcement, COVID case tracking, CARES Act reimbursement submissions. They started developing employee training programs, implemented employee exit interviews, began new hire clerical testing, continued implementation of additional members for medical claim oversight, and completed the 2021 Employee Handbook and policies updates and revisions. Special projects for the coming year include implementation of a new payroll, HR, attendance, police scheduling software, continued oversight of Horizon, HR data consolidation, continued development in overall training schedule plans, mandatory supervisor training, develop a comprehensive new employee orientation, begin negotiations for all union contracts, revise and update the safety manual. HR salary and wage budget increased by 8%. The operating budget increased 3% as a direct result of expert services line item increases for doctors' fees as needed for new hire physicals, psychological exams, fit for duty exams, CDL physicals, random drug alcohol screenings, post-accident testing, and the employee assistance program. The The next department for discussion is the Office of the Township Clerk. The Clerk's office is comprised of 5 full-time staff members, a Township Clerk and Assistant Township Clerk, both of which hold registered municipal clerk certifications. 5 staff members hold a certified municipal registrar certification. Every staff member is a notary public, and 1 is fluent in English and Spanish. The Division of Archives has a staff of 3 full-time employees, an archivist who holds state and federal records management certifications, and 2 clerks. Another staff member is assigned to police records, but is working on a large police scanning project in the Archives Department. The Township Clerk's office issues over 30 different types of licenses and permits. They brought in $197,464.13 in 2021, and issued 1,439 dog and cat licenses, totaling $27,584. The Office of Vital Statistics, which includes all records of births, deaths, and marriages, issued 5,007 certificates totaling $57,762. Additionally, they have collected $13,150 in tourism fees. The operating budget for the clerk's office totals $38,625, which is down 10% from what was appropriated last year, with expert services being one of the largest line items. The archivist would like to take on another major backfiling imaging project this year for $6,000. The project will either include payroll or engineering records. We do not have the resources to do this project in-house, and we have secured a contract with New Jersey Office Systems, who is on state contract. The payroll project was scheduled for last year, but an overwhelming amount of closed-out building permits required that to take precedence. Advertising and codification of the Township Code is also a significant part of that budget. Legislation is what drives those 2 line items. The operating budget for the clerk's office totals $40,025, expert services being one of the largest line items. The operating budget for elections is the printing and mailing of the sample ballots for the primary election, a service that is provided by the county clerk but paid for by the township. There is an increase in this line item due to an increase in the amount of registered voters. There is not a salary line item associated with this budget. Next is our Finance Department. The Finance Department consists of 6 full-time employees, 2 of whom are dedicated to payroll. The Finance Department conducts the following. They create and sign all purchase orders. 4,511 were created in 2021, and checks, 3,490, and claims and manuals created in 2021. They create the current, temporary, and adopted and capital fund budgets, post the budget at the beginning of the year, and does all transfers and closeout procedures at year end, creating all pertinent resolutions to process all of the above. They agree receivables to tax reports, ties general ledger appropriations and reserves to budget reports, balances all interfunds, keeps a cash flow analysis monthly, and ties all cash receipts and disbursements in an entry Excel books to posted reports. They send out W-9s and W-2s at year end, keep a township fixed asset inventory that is added or deleted from as needed, creates a cancellation resolutions for grants. They create Chapter 159s as needed and enters all new grants into Edmunds. At this time, we have 47 open grants. They analyze money in the capital budget to keep track of when a band sale is needed and when needed to roll into bonds. They create supplemental debt statements, cancellation resolutions when needed, inputs capital chargebacks, creates and signs all certificates of availability of funds, and enters all new capital ordinance into Edmunds. At this time, there are 41 open ordinances. They perform 40 bank reconciliations monthly, analyze 931 open escrow accounts, analyze 176 electric accounts, 58 water sewer accounts, 25 natural gas accounts, and 29 telecommunication accounts monthly. All aspects of payroll processing, printing, and stuffing of checks, implement payroll into Edmunds, make changes to employee files that will need to be reflected in salary and wage, such as yearly increase, longevity, and steps, healthcare contributions, pensions, direct deposit information, court subpoenaed garnishments, etc. Township is able to maintain its Moody's Financial Services AA2 rating on all of its bond, long-term financing issued during 2021, based on its financial strength and fiscal practices, as well as the M1G1 rating on its notes, which is short-term financing, which is the highest rating offered by Moody's. In addition, the Township maintained its bond rating from Standard & Poor's of a AA. This allows the Township to borrow and issue its debt at the best possible rates, which saves the taxpayers' interest costs year in and year out, while addressing the capital needs of the Township to maintain infrastructure and maintain service levels to our residents. Finance Department's salary and wage budget increased to accommodate the new payroll staff And the operating budget increased as needed for expert services, including accounting consultant, ADS and AFS budget, and actuarial services for a full year, not just a rollover year. Additional money was added for all costs covering a bond and van sale instead of including those costs in the capital budget. Next up is data processing, otherwise known as IT. The IT department supports close to 100 servers, including over 50 virtual servers, over 500 PCs, laptops, and tablets, 142 FirstNet cellular devices, and 73 Verizon cellular accounts. This includes Township and police-assigned cell phones, hotspots, and mobile accounts for laptops and tablets. The IT department has also assumed the responsibilities of managing the deployment and setup of all Township cell phones and upgrades. Almost 200 printers, including the e-ticket printers and police vehicles, more than 30 scanners and copiers. They currently manage 109 security cameras at 14 different locations, with more cameras being added each year. 3 high availability environments, including but not limited to the police dispatch system, file servers, Alchemy, NetMotion, VPN servers, CRM, RFA system, and more. These high availability environments greatly reduces any downtime. The Township has more than 60 separate software hardware systems used by the different departments at Town Hall. The IT department completes software updates on all Township servers and keeps all desktop computers current with a 5-year replacement schedule. The IT department is also in the process of deploying new security cameras at Bayside Park, Cedar Bridge Manor Park, and Pinewood Park, as well as adding additional and/or replacing cameras at Drum Point Sports Complex, Town Hall, Freedy Park, and Arrowhead Park. Hank Waltonowski Park is the latest security camera installation to be completed, as well as replacing the football field cameras at Drum Point Sports Complex. Upcoming projects for this year include implementing and training employees on a new time and attendance payroll HR software system, replacing our old camera recording system at all locations, police department renovations in the operations division, the new operations building behind Town Hall, and setting up senior services in EMS in the Aurora First Aid building. We are also replacing one of our high availability virtual server environments, replacing 119 desktop computers, deploying Crew Force for EMS, and replacing our police call recording system. The IT salary and wage budget increased 3%, and the operating budget increased 8% as a result of additional software costs. The next report covers both tax assessor and tax collector. During 2021, the tax collector's office collected more than $250 million in payments to the office, more than $1.7 million in cash, $130 million in checks, and $121 million in electronic payments. In addition to regular collections, we sent out nearly 11,000 delinquent notices, completed more than 2,800 senior tax freeze applications, handled more than 18,600 phone calls, and processed 102,000 in tax appeals, and collected nearly $4,600 in property maintenance fees. Tax office duties and responsibilities are directed pursuant to state statutes, specifically Title 54. Our levy for 2020 was in excess of $244 million, with a 98.77% rate of collection. The total collected was $241,746,935.67. The salary and wage line item has increased as a result of being fully staffed. The operating expense budget request totals $50,035, which is an increase of $1,425. This is due to training. The tax assessor's office, with a staff of 7, oversees almost 32,000 residential and 800 commercial properties with a total assessed value of over $10.5 billion. Last year, they placed more than $70 million of added assessed value on our tax list. Part of their responsibility includes not only maintaining a record of the specifics about a property, but also monitoring any deed recordings to assure that any changes in ownership are made in our public record. Implementing any changes to the tax maps is also the duty of the tax assessor's office. Brick Township has approximately 2,900 residents receiving senior citizen or veteran property tax reductions, which they also manage on behalf of the Division of Taxation on a yearly basis. The salary and wage budget for the tax assessor decreased 4% with a staff vacancy, and the operating budget increase is a direct result of anticipated costs for statutory mailings, including Chapter 75 postcards, tax appeal appraisal services, and tax maps GIS updates. Next up is seniors. The Brick Senior Services Staff Office is staffed with 4 full-time outreach workers, 2 part-time employees, and a program director. Their main focus is providing advocacy, information, and assistance, applying to various state benefit service programs, staff conducts in-person evaluations in-home or in the office to determine eligibility for those social service programs. Full-time staff are certified state health insurance counselors providing counseling on Medicare issues. In addition, senior services offers a variety of activities and programs to keep our seniors engaged, promoting health and wellness through exercise, art, and providing numerous opportunities to socialize in a welcoming environment. As a result of the pandemic, in-home visits are temporarily suspended, but virtual programs have been expanded. In September of 2021, we opened an office at Civic Plaza dedicated to providing services to our seniors. At this location are the outreach workers and the program director. Appointments for assistance and in-person assessments for eligibility of services are seen at this site. The VFW remains our activity center. All events, recreational and educational activities are held there. The transportation office is also run from the VFW site. Overall, the Brick Senior Services Office is staffed with 5 full-time employees, 2 part-time employees, and a program director. Their main focus is providing advocacy, information, and assistance to various state benefit service programs. Staff conducts in-person evaluations, I think I just repeated that, at home or in the office. There is an express need for transportation services within the elderly community. Our senior transportation fleet is comprised of 2 ADA-compliant buses and 3 vehicles used to provide needed transportation services for medical appointments, shopping, and accessing services. We have 2 full-time bus drivers and 1 part-time dispatcher on staff for the senior bus shuttle. Staff provided 6,864 transportation trips to approximately 300 seniors in 2021. In addition, Senior Services offers a variety of social activities and programs promoting health and wellness. The center slowly resumes social events for our seniors during the year. Seniors have been isolated and are excited to finally get back to the center to see their friends. We began with outdoor events in the spring and summer, such as car bingo, utilizing our local parks with gardening, a picnic, and musical concerts. The seniors shared a special Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas party together, which was missed by our isolated seniors. The center added a mahjong group and a floor yoga class. Our program changes to meet our seniors' expressed needs. Also added is a one-on-one computer assistance for any devices, phones, tablets, and laptops. Together with Georgian Court College nursing students, the students gave various health presentations to our seniors after our classes. Not only did these students provide educational information to our seniors, but also benefited their nursing grades. For 2022, we will be reintroducing the congregate site at VFW to welcome back our seniors that will benefit from a hot meal. This will be done twice a week and will provide a nutritious meal delivered by Community Services Inc., as well as an opportunity for socialization to our most vulnerable. We are introducing a new software to capture attendance at our center and for signing up for events. Brick Senior Services received $165,642 in Title IIIB and Title IIIE grant funding from the Ocean County Board of Children Freeholders. 2021, we received $6,028 in donations. Any donations received are used to offset the costs involved in providing services to our seniors. The 2022 operating expenses decreased $655 from the previous year. The last report is from Municipal Court. The Brick Municipal Court is the second largest of the 33 municipal courts in Ocean County. Annual filings for 2021 were 12,918, which is an increase from 2021 of 2,751 filings. This number consists of filings not only from the Brick Police Department, but also from State Police, the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office, Division of Fish and Wildlife, Department of Weights and Measures, Marine Police, Animal Control, Code Enforcement, Zoning, Building, and private citizens for any incidents occurring in the jurisdiction of Brick Township. Court sessions are held virtually every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9 a.m., with the exception of the second Monday, which is in person at 9:30 a.m. The second Monday, 9:30 a.m. court session is for code enforcement violations only. The public defender schedule varies monthly with approximately 9 to 12 sessions. It will occasionally be required the public defender represent a detained indigent defendant being held on domestic violence, disorderly persons violations, where the defendant is appealing the detainment. In 2022, we project holding 140 court sessions. This total includes 12 code enforcement violation sessions. Current staff consists of a court administrator, 2 deputy court administrators, and 7 additional staff members. $16,680 is being requested for our 2022 operating expense budget. This is $1,235 increase from last year. The salary and wage budget increased 5.5%. That concludes my report. Any members of the council or the public that would like to go into more details on these budgets are welcome to make an appointment with my office. Thank you all again for your support, and special thanks to the department and division heads who work so well serving the public.
Thank you. Open to council for questions? Seeing none, close council. Open to public for questions concerning this budget only. Mr. Fosman.
Jim Fosman, Rhode Island Avenue. I just have one question. It's about township vehicles being taken home. I understand essential personnel is normal, but I've seen a couple, my son lives in Tom's River, and I'm going off the parkway there, and there's a township vehicle shooting all the way down. This is about 4 or 5 o'clock. How many people in the town take home vehicles that are non-essential? Is it recreation? Is it parks? Is it who? Who gets the vehicles? Because the gas cost is way up.
Generally, take-home vehicles are provided to any staff member on the police side or non-police side that is expected to respond when they're at home and respond quickly. So those are the people that will generally be allowed to
And who
have a
are
take-home
they?
vehicle.
Give me a department. Let's say parks. How many people in parks have a vehicle, a township vehicle they take home?
In parks, I believe there's none.
So the supervisor there doesn't get a vehicle to take home.
No, he does not.
Does recreation?
Recreation does.
So that he's an essential personnel, recreation?
I didn't say he was essential personnel,
But
but
he
I
gets a
described
vehicle.
it as
Is
somebody
it-
taking the vehicle home as somebody that
Just
would
an
leave.
example, is that for
Would
him?
you like me to finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. He is someone that is expected to respond, whether it's a weekend or an evening. There are recreation events that happen quite often in the evenings and weekends, in fact, more regularly than not. And he would be the one that would be expected to respond if there were a problem at one of the sites or if he was needed as a supervisor.
Okay, how about DPW? How many vehicles there are taken home?
The supervisor takes one home. Again, he would
Each
be
supervisor from each department?
No, just the superintendent.
Just the director, I mean?
Correct.
Director, nobody
And
else takes it home?
The supervisor also of the road crew takes one home because there are a lot of road crew type of issues that occur, tree limbs falling, that's road crew,
Wouldn't
flooding,
the
road
director
crew.
direct him to go into work to do that? So we can...
He
so-
would get a call, mostly if it was in the overnight
And
hours.
go into work and get his vehicle, then go to the job, wouldn't he?
Well, we don't generally want to lose time having to switch out a vehicle if there's a tree in the middle of the road or...
Well, he doesn't carry a chainsaw. Obviously, he's a foreman.
Most of the trucks carry enough equipment to get them through the moment. I don't know that they all carry chainsaws.
So,
The
okay,
purpose is for them
DPW
to
only has
respond.
2 trucks, you're telling me, that go out.
That two that I can think of off the top of my head, I don't have the list in front of me.
Okay, and Recreation has 1.
Recreation is one.
And the township vehicles here, does code enforcement take any home?
No,
No vehicles home?
no.
I saw it in somebody's driveway. That's why I'm asking too.
Well, there was a roof project that was underway here where we lost a good majority of our parking lot. During the roof project, we did allow take-home vehicles in a very structured fashion to open up the parking lot, to cut the amount of
Well,
parking.
this
that
is
was
about a
taken
week
out.
ago.
Okay, well, if you would let me know, I could always check into it.
I'm not
but-
going to police you, I'm just asking you questions,
Okay.
that's all.
Okay.
So I find that
I'm not aware of anyone in code
Yeah.
enforcement that takes home a
code
vehicle.
enforcement, I think it was there. And also, what do you got? Technology, another one, township vehicle? What does he drive, down to DPW and back?
IT,
IT, yeah.
they don't,
Does he
the
have his-
IT director does not take home a vehicle. That's located here on site.
Does he have a vehicle in town?
He
He has a township vehicle,
has a township vehicle, but not one that he takes home.
okay. I know the chief has vehicles, obviously, guys are on SWAT and they carry it, and I understand that. I just want to clarify that, because I've seen quite a few vehicles in driveways in our town that doesn't look like they're essential personnel.
Well, again, it's not all what's considered essential personnel. I'm essential personnel, and I don't take a township vehicle home. So it's not essential personnel. It's on the basis of if it's expected that you would be responding in the middle of the night or at an odd time, response time is of the essence.
Could I get a list of all the vehicles that are taken home?
You could certainly submit an OPA request and we'll take a look at it.
I have to go through all that? You can't just,
No, I would prefer you went through OPA so we had a record of request and we would respond
this is
accordingly.
verbal, this is public.
I don't have the list in front of me, you're asking
No,
for a
I'm
list.
asking you for a list. I'll come in and get it. You want me to
Go
OPA
to the
request
clerk's office.
everything?
You can even do it online, the form's
I'm
available
still waiting for
online.
an OPA request for 4 years ago.
Thank you. Anybody else from public? Yes, Ms. Cole.
I have lots, but I'll get to the ones that most concern me. Nan Call, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard, and since you ran through that faster than my son was able to run track in high school, before he broke his neck several years before, I couldn't get much of it. I see that you apparently were projecting a presentation. I don't know why, because you couldn't possibly see it between the light and the fastness of your statements. Would you be putting that presentation on YouTube so that I can go back and watch YouTube and make notes from that and fill in my spaces, which are pages long?
I talked to our public information officer about what we post and how, and we'll take a look at that.
And the public information officer, is that the IT person or is it somebody
It's
else?
the person that uploads the meeting, so the meetings are on YouTube, so everything that just occurred is on YouTube.
I realize that it's on YouTube. I don't always get to sit and watch it because I have too much else to do. But in something like this, where I really want to get some facts and be an informed, responsible voter and know what's going on, I would like to see it. It should be, because this was much too quick for anybody to have absorbed. One of the questions I've had is, how many are in the IT department? You mentioned IT.
6.
And who is the head of the IT department?
The employee's name?
Yes.
His name is Jeff Schmiedeberg.
Who?
Jeff Schmiedeberg.
I think I've met him when I was working the polls, bringing supplies home and back, especially back. So there is an IT department, which has been on my mind for a long time. You mentioned something in there, I'm not sure what, I think you were talking about payroll, and I wasn't sure if you said Horizon or Verizon.
In talking about the
You seem to be,
finance department?
because I couldn't put more than a couple of words down. It was right after you said something about benefits being handled by HR. And that's my speed writing and
Okay, so
STEN.
one of the special projects that HR is working for in the coming year is continued oversight of Horizon. So that might have been the reason.
Horizon or
Correct.
Verizon?
Horizon, our health insurance
That's the
provider.
health insurance,
Yes.
yes. I have Horizon Blue Cross for mine. But I also am a retiree from Verizon and can't get Verizon Internet because they won't put Fios in. And the township doesn't take any responsibility for demanding that they do. And now it's water gone, down the drain. Oh, yes, and maybe you'd have the IT person explain to the council, servers are not basically for storage of information. Excuse me, that is extremely disrespectful, and I'm very happy that that happened 2 weeks ago, because I got a phone call from somebody in an organization who said, I can't believe he was so rude to you. So I happened to get an establishment. She moved from one side of town to another, and now we'll get together again. But that is out of place. That is wrong
We talk-
decorum as much of what goes on in
We talked about
this.
servers
Excuse
two
me.
months ago, and I told you what a server
Excuse
was,
me.
and you're still repeating it last week or 2 weeks ago, and now you're bringing it up again.
Yes, I
And you're
am.
wrenching my name. So you're referring to my
I didn't this
the
time. I
definition.
did because you
You're
weren't
referring to
here
my
last
definition
time.
of a server. I know what a
Excuse me.
server is. Do you?
Yes, I do.
Well, why did you ask me the question?
Because I wanted to know if you understood. You're supposed to be passing it on, not just to me, but to everybody in this town, and you're not informing us, and you're not
We've had
doing.
enough. We've had
Do
enough.
you?
Thank you.
Excuse me. I've had enough. Do you know what Robert's Rules of Order are?
Yes.
Because the person who called me said, do they know that you were the parliamentarian for the Federation of the New Jersey Chapters of the National Association of Retired Federal Employees?
Ms. Cole, do
I
you have
said
any
I
more
doubt.
questions for Mrs.
Yes,
Bergen?
I do, because if you think anybody got anything out of that presentation, and Mr. Halloran is way off base by interrupting. I had the floor,
Mm-hmm.
nobody's supposed to interrupt me.
Please try to finish up your questions.
I will, but it'll take me time, because now I'm exceedingly angry. And in particular now, I definitely want to see, I don't care if you just send it to me, the presentation either as a YouTube, so I can slow it down, stop it, rewind it, or a PDF document that I can print out and read. You talk about all these wonderful things. The township doesn't know it. Oh yes, that's another one of the things I did when I first came, is I attended the Mayor's Advisory Council when it was Joe Scarpelli, but he rarely attended them. Alan Cohen attended them, and they wanted to have a newspaper that they sent out to all the senior communities, to each person in the senior community, and the consensus was, it was too expensive, but I see I get from time to time some publication that looks like it's under the auspices of the township that you must be paying for to mail to each of us. But most people don't know. My next door neighbor moved in,
Ms.
and it
Cole.
took her 2
Ms. Cole.
months to find out.
Ms. Cole, I told you last time, you're not going to dominate this meeting,
Oh,
okay?
excuse me.
There's people behind you that have
Excuse
questions about
me.
the budget also. Excuse me. Okay,
I
listen,
think you better
we've been
read
patient with,
Robert's
we've
Rules
been,
of Order.
listen, I understand all
You
that.
better read, no, you don't.
You're not going to overtalk me,
No, you
please.
don't.
Trust me.
Oh, you
okay?
don't know.
No, I do know. You're
I
not
will
going to
overtalk
overspeak
you
me. This
to
is
an
everybody's
overseer.
meeting, not Nan Cole meeting, okay?
well,
If you
you're
had
not
more
giving me
questions,
information.
your questions are done for the
You
night.
didn't do the presentation as you should.
I'm
but
trying to
now
be
I
as
will let
polite
it
as I
go.
can. You
And-
keep telling everybody that I'm rude to you.
You-
I'm trying to be
Excuse
polite
me.
as I can,
Excuse
okay?
me.
Trust me. You
This
don't
is
want people to be
against
rude to you.
Robert's
I'm asking you
Rules of
nicely
Order.
to
That's
sit down.
Robert's Rules
I'm
of
asking
Order.
you nicely. Thank
You
you.
don't know what you're doing.
Thank you. Anybody else from public? Mr. Finelli. Now, you don't have the floor. Somebody else does. Thank you. How are you, Mr. Finelli?
I'm good, thank you. One general question, and I'll refer to the council budget just because okay? When it says the operating budget for the council is $1,620, what is not included in that?
So I tried to give a brief synopsis of what the council budget pays for, which is
I see what's in,
plaques, flowers, membership fees, dues, things along those lines. for things.
if somebody in the council was taking medical benefits, would that be included in
No.
there? No? Where would that show up?
In the health insurance line item.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anybody else from public? Seeing none, close public. The next presentation is Chief Ricchio.
Chief, just give me 1 second to look it up.
Members of the council, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Bergen.
The Department of Public Safety is comprised of several areas of responsibility. In addition to traditional police services, the department is also responsible for the management of police dispatchers, the special police, emergency medical services, emergency management, crossing guards, and a number of community-oriented programs such as Police Cadets, the DARE program, Not Even Once, Lead and Seed, CERT, which is our Community Emergency Response Team, Neighborhood Watch, Because We Care, our team program, as well as a number of other programs which are designed to bring our department and the community closer. As of tonight, the department is staffed with 278 employees. That includes 144 sworn officers, 22 full-time and 5 part-time communication operators, 28 full-time and 27 part-time EMS personnel, 17 crossing guards, 17 Class 1 special officers, 1 civilian deputy emergency management coordinator, 1 radio technician, 1 fleet maintenance worker, and 15 civilian clerical staff. Part-time staff members are used to support the full-time staff members as well as to reduce overtime costs. In 2021, there were over 86,000 calls for service. This included 1,713 fire calls, 10,658 EMS calls. As you know, in 2020, we were faced with a unique set of challenges brought on by the pandemic. The effects continued into 2021, negatively impacting the health of our staff and resulting in our having to change the way in which we conduct day-to-day operations. A spike of COVID-positive cases made it difficult to maintain proper staffing levels, which resulted in increased costs specifically in the area of overtime. Despite the challenges, I am proud to report that our department continues to handle the crisis professionally and tirelessly, and despite the risks, our officers are doing whatever is required to serve the residents of Brick Township. We continue to do what is necessary to reduce the need for overtime whenever possible. I will go through the department's budgets and highlight any significant changes. The majority of the budget line items have remained the same. However, some adjustments were made taking into consideration the previous year's spending or those required based on the current collective bargaining agreement. It should also be noted that aside from the pandemic, our department incurred unanticipated costs throughout the year associated with things such as a large-scale event such as the brush fire on Cedar Bridge Avenue, a homicide, pop-up parties, and weather events, to name a few. Unfortunately, unlike last year, the town was unable to recover money through the CARES Act. However, the possibility of submitting costs associated with the pandemic through FEMA are being explored. The first area we will discuss is the main police budget. This year, the regular salary and overtime request is $21,500,000. It should be noted that the salaries of our clerical and support personnel are also charged to the police salary line item. In 2021, we budgeted $1,125,000 for police overtime and spent $1,112,186.38. That is $12,813.62 less than what was budgeted. It should also be noted that $183,153 of the overtime spent was related to the pandemic and to unanticipated events that occurred throughout the year. This year's requested budget amount for overtime will be $1,150,000. Although I do not anticipate a significant increase in overtime spending, I need to plan for situations which could arise, such as weather events and any other large-scale incident which could result in a need for overtime. Despite the unanticipated events, our department we managed to remain well under budget for the past 5 years. The police supervision and command staff will continue to be conscientious of the need to reduce and keep overtime costs under budget. The police general operating budget for 2021 was $207,550. Of that budget, we expended $206,922.85, which is $627.18 less than what we budgeted. This year, we're asking for $247,500, an increase of $39,950. The increase is attributed to our having to bring our ammunition budget back to the amount that we typically budget, as well as an anticipated increase in cost. The next area we will discuss is police dispatch. In 2021, $1,500,000 was allocated for dispatcher salaries. In 2022, the request is for $1,695,000. In 2021, we budgeted $160,000 for overtime, and we spent $204,000, which was $44,038 more than what was budgeted. We attribute the increase in cost for overtime to our having less than a full complement of dispatchers. The personnel shortage created a situation where overtime was used to maintain shift minimums. We recently hired 2 full-time and 1 part-time dispatcher, which has brought us closer to full staffing levels and should help reduce the need for overtime. In 2022, we'll be allocating $250,000 for overtime, leaving 3 remaining dispatch budget items. They are $2,000 for training, $500 for uniforms, and $100 for dues. Those numbers will remain the same. The next area is special police. We currently have 17 Class 1 special officers who perform parking enforcement and traffic details, as well as being used as booking officers, municipal court security officers, and for security during Board of Adjustment and Planning Board meetings. In 2021, we allocated $320,000 for special police salaries and spent $320,039. In 2022, we're asking for $340,000. The increase will account for the anticipation of hiring up to a full complement of 25 officers. The overtime budget in 2021 was $6,000, of which we spent $9,749. The increase in overtime can be attributed to the return of in-person meetings and court, as well as adding a needed security detail at the Traders Cove Marina during the summer months. In 2022, we'll be allocating $10,000 for overtime, leaving one other line item in the special police budget, which is for uniforms and equipment. In 2021, we allocated $8,500 for uniforms and equipment, and in 2022, we'll be increasing the uniform line item to $9,000. The increase is in anticipation of hiring additional officers, bringing us to a full complement. The next budget is emergency management. Last year, we budgeted $58,500 for OEM salaries. This year, we will be allocating $60,000. It should be noted that a portion of the salary is paid for by grant monies, which are received at different times throughout the year. In 2021, we budgeted $500 for OEM overtime, of which none was spent. In 2022, OEM overtime budget will be eliminated. The only other item in the OEM budget is $500 to be used for training, which will remain the same. The next area is police cadets, formerly called police explorers. The program currently has 14 participants who are overseen by 2 of our officers who are the program counselors. This program gives children from our community an opportunity to interact with the police in a positive way, while at the same time giving them the ability to see if they may want to pursue a career in law enforcement. In 2021, we budgeted $4,000, of which $3,755 was spent. It should be noted that because of COVID, the majority of meetings and in-person training evolutions were suspended. We are hopeful that the program can fully resume at some point this year. The budget amount this year will be reduced to $3,000. Those monies are used for expenses such as annual dues, uniforms, competitions, and costs associated with the police camp. The next budget is police vehicles. These monies are used to replace aging cars, which are used by the patrol division. In most cases, the older patrol cars that are still serviceable are repurposed in non-patrol units within the department. In 2021, we budgeted $327,950. For 2022, the requested amount is $331,750. The next area to discuss is emergency medical services. Last year, we budgeted $2,155,488 for EMS salaries and $250,000 for overtime. This year, we're asking that $2,225,000 be budgeted for EMS salaries and that $250,000 again be allocated for EMS overtime. The EMS operating budget was $280,950. Of that amount, $272,831.42 was expended, which is $8,118.58 less than what was budgeted. This year, we are asking that $286,800 be budgeted, which is a $5,850 increase. The increase is in anticipation of a rise in costs associated with medical supplies. Next are our crossing guards. Last year, we budgeted $480,000 in crossing guard salaries and $5,000 in overtime. In 2022, we're asking for the same, $480,000 be budgeted for salaries and $5,000 for overtime. The only other line items associated with the crossing guards are uniforms and safety equipment. We're asking that $10,487 be budgeted for uniforms and $660 for equipment, a $1,247 increase from last year. The increase is the result of us needing to hire 2 new guards and for the replacement of traffic vests, lighted batons, and cones. That concludes my budget presentation. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the mayor, members of the council, and the business administrator for your continued support. Without your support, we would not be as successful a department as we are today. This administration has always made sure that we have the resources necessary to do our job and to do it well. I would also like to thank the men and women of my department who work hard every day to keep our residents safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Open to council, please. Seeing none, close council. Open to public for questions on the budget presentation. Mr. Sluka.
John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. These questions probably apply to both budget presentations because I know inflation has been killing us, obviously. You know, COVID last year curtailed a lot of the things we did, I guess, in everywhere, especially with the police explorers, whatever it happens to be. We were obviously had to be under budget because we didn't do some of the things because of that. And now we're saying they're going to go up. Are they going to go up with the price, not just up to what it was last year, or 2% higher, when inflation seems to be running at 8, 9, 10%? And that's pretty much the question. So for both of you is really good. How does the budget get impacted by this inflation that we're going through right now? It seems like unless we're really doing a great job, we're going to wind up having to change the amount of money we've been asking for in the future, because if inflation runs at 8, 9%, I mean, when I worked and I had all that kind of thing, if the inflation rate back in the 70s was 8, 10, 12%, everything went up. And the budgets here so far don't seem to have a lot of impact on that. It's not a big increase, even though inflation's so much higher. How are we paying for the gas that's going up at must be 40%, you know, with police cars and stuff like that? How are we paying for the health care that obviously is going to increase? How are we really paying for all the new vehicle costs? We're talking vehicles. The other day I talked to somebody that bought a car, that the car they basically bought 3 years ago was $22,000. It's $28,000 now. It's not even 6, 8%. It's much higher. So a lot of these items that you guys are talking about seem to be talking about I'm not going to do much more, I'm not going to spend much more, I'm going to help the taxpayer, that's all great and all, but if you're going to have to come back and increase the budget again, not to increase the budget, but the actual spending go up, come, 8 months later, it's really, it's almost like a fake budget. Or we started the budget way before the process of finding out these costs are really so much higher. That's my question. You got a question?
So I'll take your question as a compliment, because, we have tried very
Yeah,
hard
it is in a
to
way,
be
as long as you can do it.
fiscally responsible, but I would say at this point, we feel very confident that we have done that. There's two components of your question. One is what is funded in our operating budget, and that's a lot of what we're going to be covering in our presentations. And then there's the municipal budget, which we'll talk more about at the next meeting when it's introduced, and that has some of the utility line items that you were asking about,
That adds
health
more.
insurance and gas prices and so on and so forth. And then the third component is your capital budget. And as you've seen by coming to the council meetings, we have had to go back out to bid for several items, sign materials, assorted things where vendors just were refusing to keep their prices. They can't. They're losing money.
They're losing
So,
money if they do, yeah.
So we took all that into account as we went forward with all aspects of this year's budget, whether it be capital, operating, or our overall municipal budget, recognizing that we've already seen that and we're already experiencing that. So we definitely feel that we have applied that methodology to our budgets.
Okay, I hope so. Because it sounds, to me, it sounds a little lower than I anticipated you guys talking about, because of really, police with the vehicles and the cars. I'm saying I can't go down the block, it cost me $1.25 in the
Now, we're
gas.
seeing everything from
So,
garbage
yeah.
cans to vehicles.
And I know we got a lot
wood,
of seniors that come to
lumber.
this meeting too. And our increase was like
Yeah.
0 after you take everything out of it.
Right,
Actu-
and we don't have the luxury of waiting, so, the state
You had to
sets
do
a
it.
schedule, but I still,
You'd
with the
think
schedule
you're
in
okay.
mind, we have experienced quite a bit of what you're talking about, and we have applied that to what we've asked for in all of our budgets for this year.
Okay, I hope it works out that way for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from public? Yes, Ms. Cole.
Nan Call, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. Only a few questions, and with the chair's permission, I will address them directly to Chief Riccio.
Thank you.
And I have to figure out my writing now. I know one thing is about the vehicles, and I haven't been keeping up for the past 2 years between COVID and my own personal health issues. So I don't know if you've been getting electric vehicles. Are you going to be getting electric vehicles, or will they be replaced by gas vehicles as they've been up until now?
These are going to be replaced with gas vehicles. We actually did put a couple officers on a committee to start researching the possibility of electric vehicles. At this point, and it's too much to go into, for a police department and the amount of hours that they're run, it wouldn't be feasible at this time.
I can believe that, although I'm going on instinct. I have this gut, or this snow white dove on my shoulder for my Holy Spirit. And I agree, but I would be very interested if you could at some time in the future, not too soon, update us on what they came up with about the use of electric vehicles.
We could do that.
I know my brother, I think, has one-on-one, a gas and a new that uses both, I guess. And the, I can't figure it out, so I'll send it in. Oh, yes. You mentioned one homicide, and I hear rumors, and they turn out sometimes not to be quite true. Can you offhand tell me where the homicide was that you cited?
That one was on Herbertsville Road.
On Herbertsville. That's a different section than I thought, because, well, I guess maybe it was even 2 years ago that it was over near Briar Mills Pharmacy that after school, between that and the school along Lanes Mill there. And then I heard that there was one, that something happened and somebody thought it was a homicide where Brick Boulevard digresses from Route, where you turn onto Brick Boulevard off of Chambers Bridge.
Yeah, no, that was the only one we had last year, fortunately.
That was the one. Okay, and if I have anything else that comes to mind, I'll send it in an Oprah. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from public? Mr. Finelli.
One comment and one question. I'm warning tonight. Just for the chief, when you're doing all of that stuff with the electric cars, make sure they look into the cost of replacing the batteries.
That was actually one of the things that made it not feasible at this time.
Yeah, I'm figuring that your cars are on the road significantly more than a regular car, and you keep them a lot longer, and the cost of batteries is going to be astronomical. One question, and I don't know if I'm hearing this right. On special police, it said we have 17 officers, spend $320,000. Then for this year, you're going to spend $340,000 and go up to 25 officers. It sounds like you're getting 8 more officers for $20,000.
Well, they're limited.
What am I missing?
They're limited in the amount of time they can work, and they only get paid for when they do come to work. They don't get a salary, like the regular police do. So we monitor the amount that they work. Only if there was some type of special large event, like we used a lot of the special officers during the brush fire, to direct traffic and relieve some of the regular officers. So when those unanticipated things happen, then yeah, the cost will go up. As long as we don't have things like that, then we should be able to stay within budget.
Okay, so they just, as need.
Yeah, they're per diem.
They're like seasonal workers almost.
Correct. When they come in, they get paid. When they're not here, they don't get paid.
Okay, so that these numbers are right. They're going from 17 to 25, but you're only anticipating 20,000?
Correct, and they're limited to 24 hours a week.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else from public, please? Seeing none, close public. Thank you very much, Chief. Thank you,
Thank
Ms.
you.
Bergen.
Have a good night.
Thank you. This brings us to our consent agenda.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Thank you. Resolution 5-1, please.
Recognize Patrolman Chris DeMarco, Officer of the Year Award recipient.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution recognizes Patrolman Mark Alexander as the recipient of this year's Chris DeMarco Officer of the Year Award. Patrolman Alexander possesses many of the same qualities and attributes as Patrolman Chris DeMarco, including professionalism, humility, integrity, selflessness, and kindness towards others. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 5-2.
Recognize Lieutenant Thomas McNellis, Award recipient.
Councilwoman Pontarera.
Thank you, Mr. President. This resolution recognizes Sergeant Will Vendrell as the recipient of this year's Lieutenant Thomas McNellis Award. Sergeant Vendrell is known by his colleagues as being a very capable and knowledgeable police officer and is always working to share that knowledge and make every officer of the department better at what they do for our township. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 5-3.
Authorize emergency temporary appropriations.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes emergency temporary appropriations for the municipal budget as needed through the end of April. This resolution allows the township to increase line item department budgets by the amount specified, which has been calculated to get all departments through to the time the budget is adopted.
Resolution 5-4.
Authorize receipt of bids, Summerfest food truck vendors.
Thank you. Council Vice President Crate.
This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for Summerfest food truck vendors that includes the annual car show and an option for the craft fair and night out against crime.
Resolution 5-5.
Authorize receipt of bids, automated chest compression devices.
Councilman Halloran.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for automated chest compression devices as used by Brick Township EMS. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 5-6.
Authorize receipt of bids for HVAC services and use of proprietary language for the municipal complex.
This resolution authorizes receipt of bid for HVAC services at the municipal complex. In 2010, the township replaced an antiquated HVAC system in the municipal complex with a new energy-efficient Andover-Schneider software system. The system needs occasional updates and maintenance, and the mechanical components of the system require quarterly inspection, maintenance, service, or repairs from time to time. Resolution 5-7.
Authorize award of bid, seasonal turf chemical application program.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes award of bid for seasonal turf application to True Green Farmingdale. The contract provides for 4 weed control and fertilizer applications per year for approximately 71 total acres per application at 15 locations, including township parks, recreational facilities, and the municipal complex. It begins with an early spring soil test at each location to determine the proper application of each. There is an early and late spring application and an early and late fall application. This is a unit price bid with a cost per application based on the seasonal treatment not to exceed $60,000 for the 2-year contract period. 26 bidders were notified, of which 8 received bid packages. Bids were received from 4 bidders, with True Green being the lowest responsible bidder.
Thank you. Resolution 5-8.
Authorize award of bid, purchase and delivery of janitorial supplies.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the award of bid for purchase and delivery of janitorial supplies to the following vendors: Central Polybag Corporation, Cooper Friedman Electric Supply, Interborough Packaging Company, and WB Mason. This is a 2-year contract with a not-to-exceed amount of $45,000. Bid packages were provided to 16 bidders, and 5 bids were received. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 5-9, please.
Authorize award of bid, Oregon Avenue Drainage Improvements Pipe Reconstruction.
Mr. Mayor, please.
Thanks. This resolution is going to authorize the award of bid for Oregon Avenue drainage improvements, and that's going to go to R. Mazalowski Excavating from Cream Ridge, New Jersey. The amount that they bid is $62,626. And this project includes replacement of reinforced concrete drainage pipe and restoration of concrete driveways, curbs, and sidewalks. Bid notices went out to 11 prospective bidders, and 5 bids were received from them, with prices that range from $62,626, which is the lowest from the one hopefully getting awarded, all the way up to $90,647, with the other 3 in between those numbers. Thanks.
Thank you. Resolution 510.
Authorize closeout change order number 1, improvements to Barrier Island roads.
Councilman Halloran.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes a change order decrease and closeout for the improvements to Barrier Island Roads project. The change orders decreases the contract with Earl Asphalt by $33,153.98 as a result of final as-built quantities.
Thank you. Resolution 511.
Authorize sale of surplus property, online auction, municipid.com.
Councilwoman Pontarera.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the sale of surplus property no longer needed for public use on Municipid. It's MUNICIBID, which is an online auction website. Auction items include police vehicles and other equipment. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 512.
Authorize special events permit, Jersey Shore Rocks Dementia Benefit.
Council Vice President Crate.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes a special event permit for caregivers volunteers of Central Jersey to conduct a Jersey Shore Rocks Dementia Benefit event between the hours of 7 a.m. and 11 p.m. at Town Square, also known as Laurel Square.
Thank you. Resolution 513.
513A is an inspection fund release for Brick Plaza Phase 2, Chambersbridge Road, in the amount of $3,129.62. 513B is a performance bond release for Salvador Maiorino on Baywood Boulevard in the amount of $11,133.38.
Thank you. Resolution 514.
Thank you. 14A, 100% DAB refund and cancel taxes for Block 324.35, Lot 8. 14B is 100% DAB refund and cancel taxes for Block 382.03, Lot 8. 14C are tax overpayments for 2022. There are 2.
Thank you. Resolution 515.
Authorize submission of application New Jersey Clean Community Energy Plan Grant Program.
This resolution authorizes the submission of grant applications to the New Jersey Clean Energy Program. This program will help the Township of Brick to plan for the invest and renewable energy that works towards a better environment for all residents by using the state's Energy Master Plan as a guide to develop sustainable strategies that increase clean energy production, reduces energy use, and cuts emissions. That brings us to the end of the consent agenda. Can I get a motion and a second?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Open to council for questions, comments? No. Open to the public for questions on the resolutions only. Mr. Sluka.
John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. Just on number 10, it says authorize closeout change order number 1, improvement to Barrier Island. I don't really care if it went up or down on that thing. My question really is on all the other ones that we've had all year and everywhere else. How often do we have to change the final from what they actually bid in? Does that happen a lot?
Actually, it happens on pretty much every job because as-built quantities are
Some
something you
stuff.
project ahead of time, and then in the field it's different. So for the most part, we see decreases. We
All right.
see as-built quantity decreases, and you see a change order final, which is closing it out, and a decrease. Every once in a while, we do an increase where we have an opportunity that we could go a little bit further with the scope of the project because we had enough of a decrease that we've got a little bit in the contract, and we can add to it. So we do that occasionally, or if there's something found in the field that required
That
a
has to-
change order increase. But for the most part, there's always one, and 90% of the time, I would say it's a decrease.
Yeah, I know I saw some that say $45, $400, $300, and I'm saying, I wonder if that happens a lot, or it's just,
Pretty much
I just
every
happen to
job.
be noticing it more. No?
Yeah.
Okay, good, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from public? Yes, Ms. Cole.
Nan Call, 18 Greenbrier Boulevard, and again, I don't have too many on this. The first two are about the first two. Would I be mistaken if I thought that Lieutenant Thomas McNellis was somebody that passed away in the 9/11 crash? I seem to recall the name. I don't know if that was it. Why?
He passed away while during employment with the Township of Brick, but it did not have anything to
But
do
not with
9/11.
the 9/11 incident.
And Chris DeMarco as well passed away during his employment as a police officer for the Township of Brick.
I didn't recognize the name at all. It was during deployment.
No, he was here.
He was on,
He was
a,
here actively on patrol.
he was an employee that passed away on the job, in other words,
He passed away while he was employed as a police department patrol officer.
on the job.
But it
Whether
wasn't
he
job
was literally out on a call or at home in bed, he was on the job. He doesn't go off duty. The temporary appropriations, I don't recall hearing any amount. Was there an amount given about how much the temporary appropriations are?
Grand total, 21,877,868.21.
Okay, and also, I don't recall that on 4/9, a mention was made. If I understood it correctly, the township has just authorized an award of that bid for the Oregon Avenue drainage and something with pipe reconstruction, but I didn't hear who it was authorized to. Who was given the award, or any details about the amount?
They didn't vote on it yet, but it's R. Mazalowski Excavating in Cream Ridge, New Jersey.
Aren't they just about to vote for it? Isn't this
Yeah.
the vote?
Well, they haven't voted yet. They could vote after the comment.
After, but we're supposed to find out the information before in case we know something about
Yeah, we gave.
who they're authorizing it to. I didn't hear the name, and could say, wait, that's not a good, reputable place. We're supposed to hear it. That's the reason for having an open meeting.
Just gotta pay
So do
attention.
you have the name of who you're authorizing it to? Because when this part's over, it's awarded.
You want me to say it again? I'm
Yes.
sorry. So I said it earlier, and I just said it again like 30 seconds ago.
Say it again.
All right, R.
Say it again.
Mazalowski Excavating in Cream Ridge, New Jersey.
Okay, Cream Ridge, I did hear you say, but I was talking also.
Yes, I noticed.
Okay. I'm glad you did. Somebody's noticing me.
Yeah, it's tough to get a word in sometimes.
That could be. But I am part of we, the people who are self-governing. And I think that ends what I need to know.
Thank you. Anybody else from public, please? Closed public, roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes.
Thank you.
This brings us to our bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $11,174,067.96.
Thank you. Can I get a motion in a second, please?
Motion. Second.
Open to council. Closed council. Open to public for the questions on the computer bill resolutions only. Seeing none, close public, roll call.
Councilwoman Zepsic.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
yes,
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Abstain Teamsters, yes to the rest.
Thank you.
Thank you. This brings us to our manual bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $1,770,983.60.
Thank you. Can I get a motion in a second, please?
Motion.
Second.
You open to council? Close council, open to public on the manual bill resolutions only. Seeing none, close public, roll call.
Councilwoman Zepsic.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
yes,
Councilman Halloran.
Yes.
Vice President Crate.
Yes.
President Menachino.
Yes,
Thank you.
this brings us to our public comments.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Thank you. Anybody from public? Mr. Sluka.
Now my normal. Good evening. John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. Dear Mayor Ducey, Council President Vince Menachino, and all councilmen and councilwomen, as well as all the residents of Brick and Ocean County. May 4th, I wrote this letter. I am concerned about the air that we breathe. March 4th. Did I say May? Oh,
It's okay.
gosh. Old age will do that
Yeah.
to you, you know. I'm past
May
40
would-
now.
Yeah, May would be nice.
Yeah. At least they're listening, right? Okay. I am concerned about the air we all breathe, especially surrounding the Garden State Parkway. The destruction of the environment surrounding the Garden State Parkway has been catastrophic for the residents and the workers that live and/or work near the Garden State Parkway. The health issues caused by the New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners may be unseen, but study after study suggests that anyone living or working in the exposure area of the heavy traffic is at risk. It doesn't seem that the New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners will ever do the right thing and mitigate some of the ill effects that have brought about by the destruction of the environment near and on the Garden State Parkway. A wall around Evergreen Woods condo area and the rest of Brick is desperately needed, but without environmental litigation, nothing will ever get done. Only the courts may help children avoid asthma, help the pregnant moms not have autistic child, help the workers and residents of Brick not develop COPD, and help the seniors of Brick not succumb to heart and lung illnesses and premature deaths. The toxins flowing off major highways, including the Garden State Parkway, are harming the health of everyone. Studies and articles and reports detailing the problems associated with high traffic areas are now part of the public record. High walls and vast high and thick replantings of brush and trees are needed on the Garden State Parkway adjacent to Evergreen Woods, Brick High School, Lanes Mill School, Greenbrier, Town Hall, Birchwood Park, Primrose Garden, Sutton Village, and even other areas in Brick Township, which I didn't mention. Something needs to be done, and our residents are being eliminated from by the unseen killer of the Garden State Parkway's toxic killer of itself. In order to correct some of the damage caused by the illegal actions of the New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners, these minimal steps need to be set in place. Let us all act now in order to stop the illicit and inhuman treatment of our residents. Thank you for your time, and I yield back 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else from public, please? Yes, Ms. Cole.
Man call 18 Greenbrier Boulevard. Somebody just mentioned the administrative code that governs this municipality. I had a problem today accessing files that I had saved, so I'd like some information on where do I get the how do I get the administrative code on my computer?
The administrative code is posted online on the township website. You can go to the township website Go to
which is
bricktownship.net.
bricktownship.net.
Correct. You go to.
And by the way, that's not following proper addresses. It should be .gov.
Okay.
A lot of other things in front of it, but it should not be a .net.
And if you go to the website, the easiest way I found is you go to the clerk's office, and there's a big banner that says.
Go to the town clerk's office.
On the website, you can go to the upper left, and there's a menu drops down. It says Township Clerk,
Yes.
and then there's a big banner on the side of that page that says Township Code Book.
Township Code
Click on that,
Book.
you'll see the entire township code.
And it's Township Code Book, because
That-
what I had used in the past was
Correct.
E-code. Is
Uh,
that
there-
now
there-
outdated?
No, there is also an E-code site you can go to that's a little more complicated. I think going to the township website is probably easiest.
Well, I did have it on my, but it may have gotten archived since they've been doing crazy things. So that's where I get the township code, and there was one other thing in line with that, but I don't think that I'm going to find it right now. I think you gave me the information to get it from there. So I thank you very much for that. And you should look into, or Jeff should look into, and I'll be glad to speak to him about it. But the proper naming convention is, it should be .gov, and by that, we know we can trust it, in addition to the HTTPS.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, Mr. Fosman.
Jim Fosman. This is a question for Kevin Starkey from the last meeting we had through the council about the bonding, percentage of bonding on the houses or that were being torn down or repaired. And we said, remember I told you we had a project that was 10%?
Yes, I thank you. It's governed by state statute. State statute sets it at 10%. The township cannot vary that amount.
So it's 100%?
It's 10%, right.
No, I'm saying the bonding, whatever the bonding is, it's 100% right now. So
We
that's
have to. The mayor and councilor don't have the option to vary that. I understand your point.
Yeah.
That if we reduce the amount of the bonding, other people would have an opportunity. We're not permitted to. That's state law that requires it.
All right. And one for the council president, code enforcement judge. Have one been appointed yet? Because the other guy left when he does code enforcement, or the mayor?
It's the regular judge is Judge Grisanti. He's the same judge, but if you mean prosecutor, it's out on the street now for people to put in for it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else from public? Seeing none, close public. Mrs. Bergen.
No, thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, thank you. Just with regards to the website, the easiest one is www.bricktownship.net, but you can get there, the other one that's more letters and things that hard for people to remember, it's www.twp.brick.nj.us, which is the, I'm not sure if you're even following, but that, if there's people screaming out, it's www, again, we don't need any.
Hey, the
comment,
mayor's
please.
speaking. Thank you.
www.twp.brick.nj.us is the formal site, but it's easier, a lot easier, bricktownship.net. Had the opportunity to go to this awesome event at the high school, school-wide arts festival, which is a really cool thing. I mean, every single school was involved here in all of our public schools, right across the street. A lot of traffic, a lot of parking, difficulty to find parking, I should say. Because obviously all the parents want to see their art projects of their kids, whether they were in high school or whether they were in kindergarten and everything in between. So the hallways were filled with art, and there was all sorts of presentations going on. So next year in February, when that comes up again, it's open to everybody. You don't have to have a kid and be a parent. Go and check it out. It was well done, very, very organized, and very entertaining for. It didn't matter if you were 52 years old or 10 years old. You had a good time there. So check it out next year. Had the opportunity to go visit our Jumpstart students who were doing a civic lessons, and the 7 students created their own town. These are 4-year-olds in town. They all had different rules for the town. One town, you weren't allowed to wear green at all. Another town, you weren't allowed to play Minecraft at all. So there were some interesting rules from our 4-year-olds out there, and thank you for inviting me to the preschool and interact with the kids, let them know what a daily agenda is for a mayor. This coming Friday, March 11th, is our senior St. Patrick's Day event. Please register with our senior services. It usually sells out. Hopefully it is not by now, so you can still get a chance to come over. There's obviously corned beef and cabbage and different types of Irish activities. Also on March 11th at night is our Hero Awards from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock at Brick Township High School, and that is for our Brick Everyday Heroes. Come on out and see another well-done event and just listen to the stories of what everyday Brick residents do here, which is there's going to be some great stories to hear about how they are heroes and why they were nominated and the fact that they're receiving a cape. It's just a special night for them. That night is also the PBA dinner, which unfortunately I'm going to be not there for a dinner portion of it, but maybe after the Hero Awards, if things are still going on, I'll make my way over. Our parade, so Ocean County St. Patrick's Day Parade is this Saturday, March 12th. Kicks off at noon on the Boulevard in Seaside Heights. Please have Brick well represented. I will be there marching, and hopefully the rain does not happen, although I checked my phone earlier before the meeting, and it said 100% chance of rain on Saturday. But the Irish still march, so maybe not me, but a lot of Irish still march. March 14th at 5:30 right here in this room will be our Mayor's Cup mock trial competition between Brick Township High School and Brick Memorial High School. So again, if you're tired of watching TV or nothing's on TV, which is more likely the case, come on out. It's does not conflict with the basketball tournament, the NCAA tournament. So if you can get some entertainment here and watch our students do a mock trial, our Judge Grisanti is volunteering his time. We'll be here to be the judge, and our students do a really good job. So please come out, 5:30 on March 14th. And then lastly, starting on March 19th at 8:30 and 10 is our Sports Saturday program through our BMAC committee. And sign your kids up on our website through the Recreation Department. It is a free program. It's at 8:30 and 10, and it goes for weeks. But you don't have to sign up for every week, whatever weeks you're available on Saturday, 8:30 and 10. But there's a possibility that it does sell out as well, so please sign up as soon as you can. Thank you very much. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you. Mr. Starkey. Madam Clerk.
Nothing, thank you.
Madam Secretary.
Nothing, thank you.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. I just wanted to speak a little bit about the take-home vehicles. As many of you know, from 1998 to 2004, I was a full-time employee here in the Township of Brick. The last 5 years, I was the recreation supervisor. When I became recreation supervisor, I was offered a take-home vehicle due to the amount of after-hours work, evenings, weekends, and call-outs sometimes in the middle of the night, and I can tell you that it happened more than once. I turned that offer down, and I turned it down primarily because I had school-age children at the time, and I knew if I needed to run out in the middle of the workday to pick up a sick child from school, or I was in the habit of, on a normal day, going home at lunchtime, I was gonna go home at lunchtime, that vehicle would be in the driveway. Or if I wanted to stop at the ShopRite for milk and bread on the way home, that vehicle was gonna be parked in front of the supermarket, and I didn't want the township to have to handle complaints such as what we heard tonight. What I want the public to understand is that when you have a take-home vehicle, that becomes your primary mode of transportation when you are conducting township business. And nobody brings their personal vehicle and leaves it here in the parking lot in case they have to run out and pick up that sick child in the middle of the day. When you're out sick, it's parked in your driveway. On the weekends, when you're not working, it's parked in your driveway. If you have a random vacation day in the middle of the week, it's parked in your driveway. So there are plenty of reasons why township vehicles, take-home vehicles, might be seen in places you don't expect them. I had a son who went to high school in Point Pleasant Beach. Every morning, I dropped him off on the way to work, and in the middle of the day, I took my lunch hour at 2 o'clock, because that's when he had to be picked up from school. If I had that vehicle, that would be my only mode of transportation doing that. So I just wanted to kind of clarify that, give you all a little bit of what that's like personally for the folks that have take-home vehicles. And I, can assure you the supervisors that are entrusted with that are not abusing it in any way. And that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes, thank you. I want to address the electric vehicles that were brought up here earlier to Chief Riccio when he was doing his budget presentation. In town here, I believe I've spoke about it before, the mayor appointed me to the electric vehicle committee, and what we have been doing, the police gave us their actual report of why they do not think that currently electric vehicles are good for the police. But on the committee, we are looking at different ways that we could bring electric vehicles and electric charging stations to the township. We are out right now, I believe, with one electric vehicle tourism grant to get four charging stations, I believe. And then there is, we are going out for another grant for more electric vehicle charging stations. And these are tourism grants. We are looking at putting them at one at the Drum Point Sports Complex and the other at Windward Beach Park. Reason, because those are highly tourism areas. You have people from all over the state coming to Summerfest and see the beaches and the park and hopefully the farmers market. And then at the Drum Point Sports Complex, we have traveling tournaments that attract all over the state. I know softball, I believe we get people from Connecticut and Massachusetts and Virginia and all over the place. So these are the two locations, and we are highly confident that we are going to be able to get these grants to pay for the charging stations. Now, changing our fleet to electric vehicles is much harder and much more expensive. We are looking at using electric vehicles for our park security as a pilot program. They are only on the road for a small amount of time, or 8 to 10 hours usually, and then they can go back to either Windward or Drum Point and charge the cars there and leave them overnight. So this is a pilot program that we are going to try out with the township to see if electric vehicles would work for us. So that is the electrical vehicle update. Also, our seniors have I'm not sure if many people know about this, they have a senior technology class, and the next one is March 14th, and it's at 12:30. You have to call Recreation, 732-920-8686 to sign up. And what you can do is you can bring your laptop, you can bring your phone, you can bring your tablet, and they do a variety of different topics. Sometimes it's how to log on to Facebook, sometimes it's how to delete my emails, how to check spam to see if my grandkid sent me something. And this is a really great technology class that is offered through our senior services. So if you want to take part of that, call 732-920-8686 to find out more. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Pontarera.
Thank you. I just want to express my sincere thanks to all of you who sent me your well wishes. As most of you know, I suffered a heart attack a couple of weeks ago. Like many cancer patients who have gone through radiation, it did weaken my heart, and I'm happy to say that I did survive it. Thank you to all of my fellow council members, the mayor, Ms. Bergen, Jen Hartman, Lynette. Thank you for the kind wishes, the kind thoughts, the food, the cookies. Everything was well loved and well appreciated. Thank you so much for thinking of me. And I also want to wish everyone not only a happy St. Patrick's Day, but a happy St. Joseph's Day as well for those of us in the Italian community. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Halloran.
Thank you, Council President. First, I just want to hopefully put an end to the server discussion. I'm going to read the definition of a server, which is a server is a computer program or device that provides a service to another computer program and its user, also known as a client. Thank you. I hope that ends that discussion. I just want to thank Ms. Bergen and Chief Ricchio for their detailed presentations. We appreciate that. And I'd also like to congratulate Patrolman Alexander and Sergeant Vendrell on their accomplishments and their awards. I hope you all enjoy a happy Thanksgiving. God, I'm way over. St. Patrick's Day. It must be the tie is too tight. I know. But have a nice St. Patrick's Day. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Crate.
I believe my fellow council members covered everything, so happy St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, Mr. Halloran stole my thunder. But, yeah, the next public meeting is March 22nd at 7 o'clock. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Motion. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion